Hi guys, back again for day 3. Oh, the sun is shining, but it is really cold outside today. Another cold day in the studio. Thank you very much for your lovely comments, and thank you, Pauline, for your brilliant comment saying at least it's only 31 shades of grey and not 50. Gosh. I've also had some other comments about where I live in Swindon, and one was from a dear friend, Stephanie, who said that we were very lucky to live in a very art orientated town. Well, the fact is with Swindon, it is the butt of many of a joke in England. It was a very prosperous town a long time ago when Isambard Brunel decided to build his trains here, and the Pullman train was built here for many years. In fact, when the hooter, when I was a little girl, used to go off for the guys to finish work, which used to be able to be heard all around Swindon, it was like a little mini China. Everybody came out on their bikes, and I'm not quite sure whether it's stigma from that or what, but we are a very industrial town. Well, was a very industrious town, and then in the 70s and early 80s the railways had closed down, and we became a very office-based town, and we do have an awful lot of office buildings now left empty in our town. And we have struggled with the arts. Even being a teacher in Swindon, it has been difficult to promote the art because parents and especially the grandparents believe that for a job for life and that art is quite frivolous, and this stems back from the old culture of the railway, and Swindon being very well known for that. But saying that, we were fortuitous to have some really good counsellors that actually in the 60s bought an awful lot of art for the museum and for the colleges, and so we do possess an awful lot of art. We did try to get a museum and art gallery built in Swindon, but unfortunately that hasn't come to fruition, but we are still working on it, and gradually, with the help of some really determined people, we now have a poetry week which is starting on today. We also have a literary week. We have a lot of songs, music festivals, and also we have open studios, which is really good. So slowly we are bobbing our head above the parapet of being an industrial town. So please do pop and see our tiny little museum, because it may be tiny, but it is great standing in the community. I hope you're enjoying this series. I am. I am quite excited at the prospect of finishing this piece of work. I was thinking to myself, I wonder how many hours it will take to complete this picture, and then I realised that I only need to look into YouTube, and of course I would realise how many hours it would take to do this piece of work. Somebody asked what kind of inks I am using. I am just using ordinary fountain pen Indian ink, nothing special. If anybody is worried about messing up on Inktober, don't worry about it, because the ink will only go where the paper you put it. It won't spread if the paper is not wet, and you can darken an area when the ink is wet, because it'll only seep into that area. You can also use ballpoint pens, fountain pens, coloured inks, anything that you have to hand. And it's been quite lovely, because being an illustrator as well, I do love to have little characters, and these little fishes seem to me that each day I do them, a little character pops up, and I quite like this little fish. He is actually in the photo, I think he's been disturbed by a diver, and he looks a bit shocked, bless him. But it is fun. You know, I'd recommend anybody to do a little drawing every day. And I'd like to give a shout out to a guy called Dan. Oh gosh, I can't remember his name. He is the founder of Sketch School. And I wish I could remember his name. But he was a fantastic guy, and he had a real tough time with his first wife. She had a really nasty accident, and she survived, and then years later she had another accident and died, and he was left with a very, very small little boy to bring up, and he was very, very depressed. I think his name's Dan Gregory. I think it's Dan Gregory. Have a look. And he decided to draw something every day just to lift him out of his depression. He wasn't a great drawer, and now he has a YouTube channel. He has art lessons you can buy on YouTube. He doesn't do them himself. He employs other people. Great, great guy. So drawing every day, a lot of us don't practice enough, and please, if you are an artist, or even if you're contemplating being an artist, just pick up a salt cellar and draw it. Just get out there and enjoy yourself. It's the best and cheapest holiday you'll ever have. Believe me, I can't stress this enough. If you're not an artist, do try it out for yourself. And you don't have to show anybody. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little fish and his little scary face. Do thumbs up, like, comment, and best of all, become a subby. The more subbies we get, the more encouragement we are to make these programs. So, look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Much love. Bye-bye.